Hey, my name is Matt. I'm a third-year CS student at UCLA, and my pronouns are he, him, his. And today we're going to create our own Twitter clone using React, and hopefully learn a lot about how React works and how you can use it in your own hackathon project. Just some housekeeping things. Before you proceed with the rest of this workshop, make sure you already have Node installed on your computer. And as I've mentioned before, we have a GitHub repository that has all the notes for this entire workshop, so you can follow along. We also have code checkpoints where you can kind of load and make sure that you have the right code when you start each section of the workshop. Today, we're going to go over this section, Hello with React and Create React App. It'll be pretty simple. We'll kind of just get our project set up. So first, let's open up our terminal. And it doesn't really matter what terminal environment you're using, but if you've installed Node properly, we can then do this next command, which is create React app with npm. So we'll hit enter. It'll do some installing, and basically what this is doing is it says, hey, and Node, please run this command, install some basic template code, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're using this library called Create React App. On my computer, it's going to run a little bit faster, but it might take some time for you, so let's just kind of wait for that to happen. Okay, and we're back. So everything just worked out. Next, we're going to type in cd QWER hacks, and this just says let's go into the folder that npx just created for us, and this is where our hackathon project is going to be. If you want, you can open this up in your favorite text editor like Visual Studio Code. That's what I'll do now. And last but not least, this is the last thing we're going to have to do from our terminal. We're going to run npm start. And what this is going to do is actually start our app from a development perspective, and it'll open up a copy of it in your Chrome or whatever browser that you use. And the first thing it's going to say is, hey, you should edit this file and save to reload. I think we should follow the instructions. They seem like nice people, so let's open up this app.js file. If you see here, even if you don't know too much about JavaScript or React, you might immediately notice, whoa, there's this function here, right? From line 4 to 23, and it's called app. In React, a lot of functions are also components. And basically what this means is, React is all about breaking up really complex websites into smaller, self-contained components. We're going to make our own components soon, but for now, we just need to know that this is the app component. This is our entire application. Inside here, it's returning something, and this is actually what gets rendered on the screen. So every component returns something that shows up on the screen, and it says we should edit some stuff. So I think we should do just that. We can do hi world, a little more casual than hello world. And if we save, Create React App will automatically recompile our app, and we'll kind of see the next thing shown up here. So you might now be asking, okay, what actually is this return statement? What's going on here? This isn't like a string or an integer, and you'd be right. This is a new data type called JSX. And JSX you can really think about as HTML with superpowers. So if you know HTML, any valid HTML works here. You can put in a button, which is something we're going to do later, and say click me, for example. If you save, it'll show up on the screen. But beyond that, there are some super useful things that JSX does for us. And the most important is actually the ability to run JavaScript inside your HTML. So for example, I can do math, right? If I want to do 9 plus 10 is equal to, I can actually type out 9 plus 10. If you put anything inside braces, that expression gets evaluated as JavaScript. And it's not just numbers too, right? We can do the best hackathon is, and then a string, right? Like QWER hacks. And we can use, there's a JavaScript function called toUpperCase that capitalizes everything in a string. And if we do that, bam, we get the best hackathon is QWER hacks showing up on our screen. You can also see that the template code actually does this too with a variable, right? We've imported this image from another file, and we've named it logo. And then we say, hey, this image tag should use this image. This is a bit complicated, and we won't have too much time to delve into this specific example, but we'll do something similar to this all the time, right? If we want to do, create a variable, right, like the best hackathon, we can do that, put in QWER hacks here, and this is just a JavaScript expression. This is a variable, like in any other language, so we can pop it here, and we'll get the exact same result that we expected earlier. So, things work as expected. And also, scope-wise, if you put something globally, like outside the file, we'll do this a lot too, it works as you would expect. Nothing kind of really changed. There are two super quick things that you should keep in mind when you use JSX. So one is, if you've noticed, the class and class name are a little different than what you would expect. So in normal HTML, in order to apply a CSS class, you use the class attribute. In JavaScript and in React, you have to use class name because class is a protected word in JavaScript. The other difference is with the style tag, and we'll actually go over this in the next video, so don't stress about that too much. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Just as a quick recap of what we covered, we used npx and create React app to create a template for our React application. Then we went into app.js. We fiddled around a little bit and learned about JSX, which is HTML with superpowers. We covered how to render JavaScript stuff using braces, and we went over some exceptions about how JSX works. Anyways, hopefully that was pretty easy, and I'll see you in the next video.